All
Thanks for
right,
joining
cool.
us today.
Oh yeah. I'm so sorry about last week, man. I apologize. Or earlier in the week, I just got back from that convention Dave and I were doing in Minnesota, and I was just like, whoa, I was like a zombie.
It's only rock and roll, man.
But I like it.
Are you ready to get going?
Yeah, man. Yeah, totally.
For those following along at home, we're going to speak to Mr. Drew Fortier today from the Lucid. You've got a new record coming out, of course, self-titled Lucid, and we're excited to hear a little bit about it. What can you tell me?
All right, so yeah, it's been done since about I think like January. We all got together. What was it? Probably about April or May 2020, like right when the pandemic was going on. And Mike Heller, the drummer, and I just we were just demoed probably about 30 tunes, and we're just kind of like, what are we going to do with this? And then I'd known Dave. We did the Dwellers together and Rockstar Hitman, the book, and all that. And I was like, oh, send it to Dave, see what he says. And he was like, yeah, man. You know, so we sent him one track, and he was like, yeah, I'll play bass on it. And I was like, how about some more? And he was like, and he was digging the stuff. And then it was like, okay, so who are we going to get to sing on it? And for some reason, the first person I thought of was Vinnie from Sponge. None of us knew him. And so I just sent an email to him out of the blue. And then he was like, yeah, man, I'm all over it. We sent him one track, and he sent it back, and it was a song called Hair. And we all loved it. It was so good. Then I was like, hey, Vinnie, how about another one? And then we ended up sending him like 30 instrumental demos. And then he sang I think he took to about 13 of them, and now there's 9 for the album and all that. And then it all came together really organically. Like it's really cool how the whole thing came together. Then we all met up in LA in July of last year in 2020, and Dave finished up his bass tracks at Mike's studio, and we all took pictures and all that, and we got along way too well. Like it was so cool, you know. And Vinnie is such an amazing frontman and singer and human too. It's like unheard of a frontman to be as cool as Vinnie is, because he shows up to Mike's studio, with a bag of groceries, drinks, Cokes for everybody, and the sandwiches. Like, hey guys, thought I'd bring some stuff, and we're like, and that's the frontman? Yeah. It's wonderful, man. You know, it's really cool, and we're all just a bunch of nice guys. And
I could tell from the press release that it did seem like it came together rather organically, but I'm surprised you guys didn't know Vinnie. That's so,
yeah.
Get a cold call to say, hey, would you be interested?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I was surprised none of us knew Vinnie either. We were all huge fans of Vinnie. We all love Sponge. And it's funny, Dave was telling me that like in the 90s, Megadeth were kind of like chasing after that Sponge sound, I guess, because they were ruling the charts back then, and a lot of the bands back then were trying to follow their lead with like the charting they were doing and all that, and the kind of songs they were writing. And so that was pretty cool to hear from him. And Vinnie is just he's just that cool guy, kind of slumped down on the couch, sunglasses on, just like thumbs up, it's all good. And another cool thing about the band too is that there's no like there's no leader, you know. Everything's just the 4 of us, you know, and we just kind of just like an amoeba, you know, just kind of go with whatever works, you know.
Just
and
having some fun.
Totally, man, absolutely. And it was so unpretentious too, because we sat on this for a long time, just like trying to figure out like what we want it to be. Like, is it going to be like a companion to that movie we did? Is it going to be a companion to something, or you know? And then there came a time where it's like, you know what, let's put out a song and see what people think, you know, on its own. And then and people seem to really get a kick out of it, and that's really cool. And we're putting the next one out next week.
Excellent. Well, the first single you have out is Maggot Wind. Why did you choose that as the first single? What drove you to say this is number 1?
You know, that's the first track on the album, and just it's such a driving track. You know, it's just it's heavy, but at the same time it's catchy, and it's got that big chorus and everything, and it kind of we all felt that it was a great introduction, because you know, the way the song starts off, and then it just kind of all kicks in, and and the lyrical themes too are really cool too. Like Vinnie was just telling us that it's kind of about like how blind faith can sometimes like lead to death, you know, and then the whole Jonestown thing and all that.
Yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
Vinnie's lyrics on this album is out of this world. It's like poetry. Like I can't wait for people to hear more of this stuff. It's so cool. I mean, there's a song called Masquerade, and it's a big, pretty ballad, but it's like you think it's like what's a masquerade, but then you read the lyrics, you're like, oh, and it's really cool. And there's a song called Spoilerhead, yep. Which is it's like what's a spoiler head, but then you listen to it, you're like, oh, Spoilerhead. And it's a song called Parade of Spit. You know, I mean, the song titles are so out there, but we just let Vinnie do whatever. Like I was saying, we're up, you know, it's like we're up for anything. And Vinnie was just off the chain and just went for it. And he incredible dude, incredible lyricist and singer, and he's so dynamic on the album too. Like the first track, he's got that deeper kind of Weiland kind of register, you know, and then. And some of the tracks, it's just like, whoa, like, you know, like, man, like he's such a great performance on his behalf on the album, and same with Dave and Mike as well. You know, it's just it's really cool. We didn't realize what we had until we put a track out there. We're like, oh, I guess people are digging on it. All right, cool.
I was going to comment. There's a little bit of Scott Weiland going on that first track. It's amazing and it sounds great. It so perfectly fits the music.
Oh, that's great to hear. I'm glad. And there's a track. It's one part he sounds like just like Lane Staley, you know, but his own interpretation of it, kind of thing, with the way he layers his vocals and all that. That's a song called "Death of Despair," and it's just amazing. That's the way he builds his vocals up in layers and all that. And I can't wait for people to hear that as well. Just his whole approach to the whole. All the songs and all the music and everything. It's really cool. I'm a big Vinnie fan, as you can tell.
Oh yeah. I don't blame you. It sounds great. Yeah, I was surprised to read that you guys recorded the record in 2 days.
Yeah, pretty much. yeah, Dave. Ben recorded his parts at his home studio. I recorded my parts in my home studio, and then Dave. Well, we all met up in LA. Dave drove out there from Scottsdale. And he tracked 10 songs in like 2 days, and it was just like zoink. It was so quick, and then Mike tracked his drums in like 2 days too. So I guess me and Vinnie were the spoiled ones. We got to take our time a little bit.
Yeah, it's shocking in an age where people sometimes spend a year tracking the songs and it's like perfecting really, everything.
Yeah, it's really easy to fall into the whole Chinese democracy thing. I put a thing together called Zen from Mars, and that was 6 years ago, and it's still not done. And I just kind of forgot about that. I'm just like, all right, you know, it tried to, and it's like pretty much the Lucid is kind of like a reaction to that situation, you know, and it's like, you know, we're all just 100% on the same page, and there's no like there's no pretension whatsoever. It's just like, hey, let's just go for it and see what happens. You know, we're not going to force this to be something it isn't, and we'll just let it grow organically if it does. And if it does, cool. If not, cool too. We're just happy it exists and that we got to do it together.
So you're looking at the moment, it seems like you're looking at it as a project, but are you thinking maybe it could become more?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're already getting some show offers and everything, and and we're all, if it continues to get the momentum it's been, you know, we're 100% up for shows for sure. That's something we talked about probably about a year ago. We were like, if this ever would be up for it, and yeah, we all talk all the time, and we're like, yeah, let's do it. We already have an agent and everything, and he's got a couple offers so far. So you probably see us popping up at some point, probably 2022. I'm thinking like early 2022, or maybe even sooner. You never know. It might pop up somewhere. You know, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Exciting to have that opportunity to see you guys live. It's always a lot of fun to, you know, sometimes these albums come up then, you know, like yours, very organically, and it's not intended to be much of anything, but all of a sudden it grows legs and it becomes so much more.
Totally, exactly. And that's I love that too, because it's like instead of Yeah, most albums and record labels, everything, you got 3 months to make an impression, and then you're done. And then nobody ever talks about it ever again. And our whole mentality is, it's like the life of the album. Instead of like, having it be within that 3 months leading up to the album release, our mentality is like the album release is just the start of it. That's just the beginning of it. And we're just gonna, and we got a lot of content kind of ideas and all that and everything. We're just gonna do it our own way. We don't have a label. Spoilerhead Records, we made that up. And truth be told, we actually shopped this around a lot, and we got turned down by everybody. So it's
their loss.
Pretty much, yeah. But a lot of times, sometimes it's better just to do it all in house. We're all know where everything's at as far as like what's being sold and everything, and it's just a great situation. There's no questions. Everything's right there, and that's. And we've all four of us have been in situations where it's just not good. It's some more than others as far as record contracts, because then you're forever unrecouped. They give you that advance up front, and then you're pretty much just you're owned by them, and they'll keep you unrecouped too. Because
the golden handcuffs, yeah.
Exactly. And then the golden handcuffs. You have to tour. You have to, pay back the label from that advance they gave you, which probably wasn't that much to begin with, So here with this, it's like no advance, and we'll just kind of just do it as smart as humanly possible, like whatever we get in from pre-orders, kind of put toward manufacturing and all that, and just kind of plan everything out right. I mean, vinyl, we're gonna do vinyl, but that probably won't ship until April at the latest, because vinyl manufacturers right now are just absolutely nuts. Like some are saying like 10 months. Fortunately, we found one, I think like 5 or 6 months. To get manufactured and everything, but
amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. But and the final artwork for the album too is really cool. Like the L logo right now, that's just a placeholder, but I can't wait for everybody to see the final artwork. It's done by an artist named Alex Sarabia, and it's something that you could like hang up in an art gallery, and you walk past and you look at it for a minute and you're like, whoa, that's crazy.
Now, see, I love that because, as you know, years back, album covers were important. The artists that were chosen for it were all very well known, and that's sort of gone away, and it's unfortunate. We kind of lose that portion of the art of the music itself.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And you look at the album cover, and it's just like, I think I got your email. I could probably send it to you right now. But let me see. Yeah, I'll do. Yeah, I figure why not, right? It'd be cool to get your reaction on camera really quick. But is this it? Okay, here we go. Final high res cover. Okay, I'm gonna forward this to you right now. Awesome.
So you mentioned keeping things in house. I know Mike did the production on this record. I suspect that was partly because you guys have been in the business long enough where you know exactly what you wanted.
Yeah.
Talk about the value of keeping everything kind of more in house.
Well, yeah, Mike is he impressed all of us. Like, it was like he's incredible producer, he's great ear. Him and we had Lussa Lamert mixing everything too, and he's just absolutely phenomenal as well. But Mike producing though was great because I'm like I got like ADD when it comes to guitar parts. So like with the Zen from Mars thing I was talking about, like one song has like probably like 16 or 17 guitar parts, 13 of which don't even need to be there, and so and Mike, it's funny, Mike was in Zen from Mars too, and so that's how he and I kind of created our kinship together, was through that whole situation. And yeah, so this one, it was just like he was like, all right, Drew, you're only allowed 2 guitar tracks to work with. And I was like, fair enough. And there's one song where I get a little bit more. That's Hair. It's got kind of like a big intro kind of thing. But yeah, he only allowed me Hair and 2 guitar tracks the whole time. So like Maggot Wind, you hear it's just one, it's just stereo guitars. That's it. There's 2 guitar tracks, and
right.
That's that song.
So I just got the album cover.
Oh, right.
I love it. I really do. The whole pinata bomb thing is cool. Yeah, give it a swat. Let's see what happens.
Exactly. And then if you look closely, you see one person not reacting in the background. He's just kind of like looking down all mopey, just like waiting for it.
Yep.
But then I just love it. It's like, yeah, it's like this kid's like it's at a birthday party or something, and he's about to take a swig out of what he thinks.
No idea. Yeah.
But it's
no idea what they're getting into. It's great.
Exactly.
I love that.
It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, well done. Well done. So you mentioned earlier the possibility of touring in 22. I know you guys are busy with all your other projects and so on. I'm hoping you get a chance to get out there. I was going to ask about the video. You have a video out right now. It's just audio, of course. Given your background and everything, I know you're doing some cinematography and so on. Any thoughts on doing a video, full-blown video for the record? You know, certain songs.
We have one already for Maggot Wind, actually, and we were just thinking, like, you know, just kind of gauging the reaction and all that, and it's been positive. And we were also thinking too, we might hold off on videos until after the album, and just kind of maybe even wait until we play like the first show before people get a look at the four of us together in a room, kind of thing, you know, because nowadays everybody's so overexposed with social media and all that, and it's just like everybody's Facebooking live every 9 seconds, and it's like, you know, it's like you get too used to seeing seeing something, and it loses its magic, you know. So we're just trying to keep the marketing and everything as simple and stripped down as humanly possible. Hey, here's the song, here's who's involved and everything. Let's let the music do the talking, really. You know?
Yeah, it might give you a second wave as well. You know, people. Right. Videos are still important today, right? I mean, that's why people do them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's coming from a guy who's done a bajillion music videos, you know. But then again, but I think the subconsciously I just don't want to edit the thing.
You know, speaking of editing and so on, you said you mentioned that you sat on this album for nearly a year. That always tempts people to go back in and they start fixing little things. And did you just stand hands off and let it be?
Yep. Yeah, I listened to Mike, and that did happen. I was like, Mike, what if you try this and that? He's like, Drew. I'm like, you're right. And then, but when we heard like the first mix, we're actually in LA. We were only in LA together for like a couple days, but during that time, we had Dave did enough recording that we were able to have like a rough mix of Maggot Wind, and they put it up on Mike's studio speakers, and we were like that Mac commercial from the 80s where like it was like, whoa, and we're like, whoa, holy crap, this is what it sounds like. And then when we heard that, and that was Lucid did that for us, our mixing engineer. He's based out of Germany. He's incredible, and so yeah, we just it's a trust for sure. Like we definitely got a lot of trust with that. It was just like, hey, this is what it needs to be. This is what it needs to sound like, and you know, and I think we're all incredibly happy and proud of what we're able to do together for sure.
The album itself, I'm anticipating, because all I have right now is a sampling of one song, but it sounds so good. You know, I'm sure this is going to be in my you know, replay section constantly when I'm driving around. It's going to be constantly played.
You know, I'll send it to you. So I'd love your thoughts on it. I'll send you like the advanced copy if you want to check it out. There you go.
Perfect. Given the timing of the video, as I said, we're going out at the end of the month. Are you willing to share what your next single is?
It's called Damned, and it's very heavy. It's like anybody who wanted to hear Ellefson playing a more heavier track, this is the one for sure. It's probably one of the heavier and one of the heavier ones. It's like if Metallica and AC/DC wrote an album together with Lane Staley singing on it. and it's pretty cool. It's like yeah, if AC/DC wrote Enter Sandman with Lane Staley singing, that's the best way I could describe Damned, for sure.
It's kind of a surreal example, but okay, we're good with it.
Oh yeah. Well, once you hear it, I think you'll be like, oh, okay. I get it. Oh yeah, and a lot of the music's all over the place too. It's a very eclectic album. Like some stuff sounds like that. You know, there's one track that kind of sounds like The Cure meets like Bang Tango, and it's yeah. I got analogies all day long and metaphors, I guess, as far as all the tunes, and yeah, it's very well rounded for sure. There's lots of different things. There's some heavy stuff. There's some not so heavy stuff. And we got one song with real strings on it, and just kind of like it's almost like like very symphonic and everything. It's a really pretty ballad called "A Masquerade." That's the one. And Ali Storch played did the string arrangements on that. She's from a band called Subway to Sally, based out of Germany, and they're big out there. But yeah, I'm really excited for you to hear the album.
Well, I'm certainly I'll give it a listen. I'll give it a couple of days, and I'll write to you and let you know what I think, what I love about it.
I'd really appreciate that. That'd be really cool. I'd love your thoughts on it.
Well, that's all the questions I got today. What have I missed? What do you want to talk about?
Oh, whatever you want, man. Dave and I got that Dwellers movie coming out next month. Actually, we got he and I got an album and a movie coming out the same week, and a Blu-ray and CD, and and it's kind of funny how that all kind of worked together. So I think that week we're doing a couple of different appearances like around the country to kind of promote it and everything, like CD listening parties and like a screening for the movie and such. And so that's going to be, I thought I was tired from this past weekend. Like I can't wait until like November, because that's when I'll actually be able to get some sleep.
Things slow down just a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I've been just running around so much this because doing everything in house. It's like really you're doing everything in house. Making sure we're making sure the artwork's all good and everything, and making sure that the manufacturing's on track and such, and for the album and for the movie too. And fortunately, we're going through the same guy who's handling that for us. And so yeah, it's a lot of work.
You'll get your rest, but right now, yeah, work it out. Do it. All right. Well, I appreciate your time today, Drew. I really do. And I've enjoyed this conversation, and I will get back to you as far as feedback on the record. I appreciate you sharing the cover, because that's priceless.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, huh? It definitely gets a reaction, that's for sure. It definitely gets a reaction.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your time today, and I'll let you go, and you'll hear from me.
That sounds great. Looking forward to it. You take care, my friend.
Thank you much.